Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 4 of the tour through the Londonverse. I'm your host ScottBGaming and today we'll be looking at a promotion known as Scottish Wrestling Champions. Keeping with the theme of Showtime and how we hadn't done a video for them in the past, now we'll be going to the UK scene and more importantly the little promotion north of the border, Scottish Wrestling Champions. You may notice that the logo originally was a bit more generic, kind of a logo that would fit a more mainstream promotion where it didn't have kind of that edginess about it, and there was nothing wrong with that logo whatsoever. However, fortunately and luckily enough for us, Hero was kind enough to take it under his wing a little bit and create this kind of more accurate depiction of what the promotion is and captures the essence of it a little bit more. And thank you to Hero for that, and it's now been included in the game. What I've done so far is I started up the game, skip through to when the SWC's first show will be so we can get right into it. I will need to create some storylines for them, having said that, but it kind of goes through skipping through 14 days worth of background information just being processed to get to this point and saves a lot of clicking for your ears, so that's why I've left us off at this point. Right, so let's have a look where things stand. I was a little bit concerned as the free agency pool hasn't been completely fleshed out at this point, that the UKWF, who are the biggest promotion in the United Kingdom, would poach a lot of the SWC roster. Having said that, the UKWF isn't in a position to really be offering anyone full-time contracts. They could do paper appearances, and as the SWC and UKWF shows don't actually clash, or are played on the same day or held on the same day, we would have been okay to keep SWC workers on the roster anyway. But it was a little bit of a concern for me as I was going through this, I have to be honest with you. But what we will do is we'll go to the promotional main hub. You can see from the information that's on the top left hand side of the screen that the promotion is the smallest in the Londonverse to start with, being ranked 33rd out of 33 promotions. Small in size, $50,000 in money, not particularly bad. It should be enough to get us by. It's more than what we need for the talent we have. Prestige is E-, Momentum D+, and the first show is SWE Soul Survivor 2015. As you can see, the messages that are on there, we've got James Avatar being myself for the purpose of the video, needs to be assigned a position on the roster. We don't need to worry about that, that's fine. And obviously it says about no storylines going forward, but we're about to do that shortly. However, the first thing we will look at is have an overview of the roster itself, as is tradition with my videos as of late. So all of these renders, I think, as far as I'm aware, will be new to the people watching this, apart from those that have been involved with the data directly. So hopefully you'll see a few things and characters here that you quite like. We start off with ASBO. Now ASBO, first of all, is a term that some of our international viewers may not be familiar with. It's what's known in the UK as an antisocial behaviour order, and that's basically for people, I say people, I use that term loosely, scum, who go about and cause trouble and, you know, get basically labelled as being a bit of a menace to society, which I think would be a pretty cool title myself, the Menace to Society bit, not the ASBO. ASBO just sounds weird, weird acronym. Anyway, I decided to create a character based on that, and he's actually the SWC champion because he's got a bit of grit and determination about him himself. He's Charles Scott, or like I said, he goes by the name of ASBO, got a few tattoos, looks like someone you wouldn't want to cross down a dark alley, that's for sure. As you can see from the stats, he's good at brawling and hardcore, everything else is meh. The basics and psychology are good, and that's helpful seeing as he's pretty much the main eventer in the company. Certainly someone I'd enjoy booking if I was the SWC, and I'd very much be tempted to take him to the UKWF if I was actually playing as them. Although the SWC and the UKWF have a bit of a rivalry, as the owner of SWC was originally working for UKWF, went out during the show, went completely off script and tore them apart, saying how he wasn't a fan of this type of wrestling and yada yada yada, he doesn't want anything more to do with it going forward, and then lo and behold he went back to Scotland, his homeland, and created this promotion which we see before us. So as I said, ASBO is the current champion of the promotion, and a very good one at that, I must say. Now here we have a bit of a more old school flavour in Big Daddy Buff. Getting up there in years, well, he's not getting up there, he is up there in years, he's 48 years of age. Also Scottish with a wonderful tash and a ludicrous mullet. Absolutely ludicrous mullet. and he's a throwback basically. He was around in the more regional territories in the UK scene from the 80s and late 80s, 90s certainly. Got the gimmick of almost like a Rick Rude type of being the sexiest man alive, although he may not look it, he certainly believes that to be the case. His basics and psychology are his main selling points, as he isn't particularly fantastic in any one area. He's not bad for this level of promotion, it has to be said, being small. He's got the fundamentals there as far as brawling, and he can also do a bit of mat wrestling if absolutely required. He doesn't go to the top rope because he'll get a nosebleed from that aerial statistic of 2. But again, he's near the main event scene, or he is in the main event scene, and he's a bit of a legend on the UK independent circuit. So move on now to Christian Kimmick, a Scottish-based worker, also quite old, being 37. A few years left in him, we'd hope. Upper mid-carder, so near enough the main event scene himself. He's a bit of a rocker, but he goes more down the arrogant heel side of things than being the cool, kind of suave individual. He's actually one of the better workers on the roster, with chain wrestling and mat wrestling being particularly good. Brawling's not too bad, and psychology, consistency and basics are all pretty good. Not too bad on the camera either, so he's one of the better all-round workers in the promotion, and it's certainly someone I could see being a title holder in the short-term future as well. So we'll move on from him to Mistin? Who's Mistin? I don't know. He's not even on the list here. Or she, Mistin. It's not a name. Move on to Colin McGillivray. Try and say that 5 times. I couldn't, because I'm not good at that. Not bad with regional names and pronunciations in general, but McGillivray, it doesn't flow well for me, that. Doesn't flow well at all. Although this guy's hair does flow pretty well, it has to be said. The straight shooter tells you as it is. Badass gimmick. 39 years of age, again another one who's up there. He's okay. I'm not particularly bothered one way or the other by this gentleman in promotion. He's good for this level, but I don't know. I think I'd have to get him in a good storyline to get invested in him emotionally. Asbo and Christian Kimmick would be more my kind of characters in this promotion, although I would like to do Big Daddy. I wouldn't like to do him, that's just awful. Just no. I would like to put Big Daddy Buff in some interesting angles. That's not a sexual thing either, just wanted to clear that up right away. But Colin McGillivray is definitely a solid hand in the mid-card scene, and he's classed as an upper mid-carder in the promotion. He's okay, I'll leave it at that, let you draw your own conclusions. Now, one of my favourite renders personally in the promotion is Corbin Garner, and he's also one half of my favourite tag team in the promotion, the UK Riots. 28 years of age, so he's young enough, pretty decent brawler. He's got room to improve, but I don't see him making any bigger strides than he has done in this company than he would in, say, the UKWF. As a tag team unit, him and his partner as the UK Riots could do quite well, but individually, I don't think they would do particularly well, so it might be a lifetime tag team worker or a tag team specialist. Bit of the Marty Jannetty type. Although Corbin Garner isn't off his tits on coke. Or is he? I don't know, I don't follow him home. I can't, he's not real. Move on now to another tag team worker, Ellis Stubbs, the Glaswegian Kiss of Death, or a purse full of heeders, and anyone who's Scottish will probably know what that means. And honestly, I mean nothing by it, please don't hunt me down and hurt me. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Anyway, yeah, he's a tag team worker, 43 years of age, around the upper mid-card scene, just a bitter looking guy, with a great chrome dome. Hired gun, yeah, although his stats, no. Basics and psychology are good, brawling's okay, everything else is wank. Toughness pretty good actually, power's not bad, but yeah, no, certainly someone who shouldn't be a single star, I wouldn't have thought. Although again, I have to bear in mind that it is a small sized company, so who knows, I won't rule it out. Move on now to Emmett Ambrose. Scruffy and unpredictable, that pretty much sums up the render as well as the character, to be honest with you. He's, I think he's pretty good, 32 years of age, so he's he's younger than certainly some of the other gentlemen we've seen on this roster so far. And he's okay. He's decent aerial worker, has a cruiserweight style. Plays the face, daredevil gimmick. I like him personally. I think he's got prospects for the future. Move on now to Highlander. I don't know if this is classed as xenophobia or anything like that, or I don't know. Looking at it from an English perspective and then thinking, oh yeah, this is what everyone in Scotland does. I'm not saying they do, but I'm just saying there is a character in this promotion called Highlander. Take that for what it's worth. He's actually, I like this guy, Scott Bishop, not because he just has the first name of Scott, but which is a name I don't particularly like actually, to be fair. He's a good worker. Entertainment is probably the guy's strong point. In fact, it's definitely his strong point. Basics and psychology, all right. 36, so he's not the youngest in the promotion, but he is a main eventer. I could see him, doing all right in a kind of sloppy brawl. Not someone I'd want to be around the main event scene for too long, me personally. Certainly someone to have on the roster. I have no problem with that, but I would probably try and fade him out over time. Jake Waller, I believe, is the Waller. Not Waller. Waller Bing Bang. Ooh-ee-ooh-ah-ah. No, Jake Waller. I'll try that again. Third time's a charm. Jake Waller, that's the last time I'll say it, is also a Scottish man. He's one half of the tag team with Ellis Stubbs, known as the Union Street Syndicate. A bit of the kind of Scottish gang that we have going in SWC. I like the guy personally, 28 years of age, so similar position to Corbin Garner in terms of where he is in the card. Classed as a lower mid-carder. I think he's pretty good. I think he's getting a lot of experience by working with Ellis Stubbs, who's a veteran of the UK scene. I see relatively big things in his future if he develops nicely, and he could do. James Avatar, that's just the user character myself. Kaysen McColgan. Now, Kaysen McColgan, very angry individual, very angry indeed. Slightly older than his tag team partner, who I'm sure you'd be able to work out from earlier in the video, is Corbin Garner. One half of the UK Riots. Again, Rumble is good, but beyond that, nothing particularly great, although he's got the camera skills. He looks good on the camera, apparently, although that face would tell you otherwise, I think. Give you nightmares. But yeah, easily my favourite tag team in this promotion, without question. Unless I see something later that I've realised that is in there and I go, oh yeah, well that is better. I don't think I will though. I don't think I will. Move on now to Kurt Berry. Commentator. Yeah. He was also, to be fair, the former tag team partner of Sean Galloway, who was the man who set up the SWC after storming out of UKWF. I say storming out, he probably got kicked out after the promo that he cut on them. And fortunately for Sean Galloway, Kurt Berry was more than happy to offer the role of announcer for the promotion, and that's what he's doing, and he's doing an okay job at it. Kylan Castellor. Now this is, or Killen? I'm going to go with Killen now. Killen Castellor. I really like this render. I mean, that hair is terrible, but you wouldn't tell him that. You wouldn't tell him that at all. Look at that. He's the kind of person that kills puppies. Just like buries them in his back garden. He's a horrible person, but apart from that, he's fantastic. One of my favourite characters in the promotion. He's also one half of the tag team Drunken Disorderly. I like him. Plays the badass face, and I think he'll do it very well. He's the tag team partner of Emmett Ambrose, if I recall correctly. Could be wrong. I think I am wrong, actually. I think we're wrong. We'll find out shortly. So anyway, we'll move on now to Mr. Kyle Hamill. That beggars belief, that render. I think I was having a strange moment when I created this character, and I even titled it such by starting with one weird looking dude, which no one can argue. No one can argue with that. With a kind of porno handlebar stash and some sort of brown, emo, horrible haircut, but it works for him. So, yeah, he's the other half of Drunken Disorderly, so I knew I wasn't quite right with Emmett Ambrose, but that was the first name that popped into my head. Apart from that, he's actually not a bad brawler, and he's probably young enough that he could be further up the card in relatively short order. Sex appeal, F-, absolutely it is. Or just F. Yeah, I mean, I think F might be being a bit too generous, but yeah, solid hand. Lance Shadow, again, another quirky individual. I believe he's in a tag team as well. In fact, he might be the tag team partner of Emmett Ambrose, or again, I'll probably talk about of my anus. Yeah, yeah, I think he's pretty good. I like the render as well. To be fair, he's well, again young enough to improve, but I don't think his statistics are particularly great at this time. But again, for this size of promotion, it more than suits its need. And yeah, I'll probably, in the long term, give him something useful to sink his teeth into. Lonnie Dope, wrestling name of Leonard Dennis. Lightweight competitor, regular wrestler, so he's not the cruiserweight type. Got a relatively interesting look, I think. I like the look anyway. Kind of, I don't know, I like the hair and the hood slash jacket he's wearing with a design which I can't even remember what it was. But yeah, no, I think the guy's pretty good, and he's again one of the younger workers on the roster, but not particularly great in the ring. So we'd have to see how he develops in the long term. Move on now to Peter Wallace. Now Peter Wallace is very much in the same kind of vein as the Highlander, sans the Fanspant? I only said Fanspant, that sounds German or something like that. No offence anyone in Germany, of course. Yeah, so Peter Wallace is kind of a similar character to Highlander, except he hasn't got the face paint. Sans face paint is what I was trying to go for there. Yeah, I think he's pretty decent. Main eventer, so he'd certainly be near enough the title scene at all times. He's not someone I would actually try and fade out like I would Highlander. I quite like Peter Wallace myself. And he's got a good bit of charisma and microphone as well, so he could carry a promo if needs be. And he probably will be doing that on the show. Pierce Buxton. That's just a bang average looking human being there, isn't it? 36 years of age and English. Before we go on to the next character, just compare the renders. This is just an average looking bloke, and then you'll see the next guy who just absolutely out of this world mental. Well, at least in appearance anyway. Yeah, Pierce Buxton's got the cold character. He's not popular by any stretch of the imagination, but he's fit for the mid-card scene, and I think that's all he'll probably ever amount to, if not slip down further in the card if better talent is brought in. And based on some of the early free agents that I've put in on the UK scene, yeah, they would probably get in before Mr. Pierce Buxton. What did I tell you? Look at that render. Prince Westminster. Yes, that's right, you heard it. Prince Westminster. Just an absolutely entertaining, brilliant heel. Based on the idea that he's playing a kind of rich lord, snobbish from England, and what could a Scottish person hate more than someone who pretends to be a lord or aristocrat from England? I would. I'd hate him. I do hate him, but I love him in equal measure. He's like someone you're likely to hug to death, like crush them, because they're that good, but you hurt them all the same. Prince Westminster, easily my favourite character in this promotion. I don't think I need to say much more than that. Yeah, his stats are crud, but look at him. Look at him. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. This covers up for this, and he would be my champion at some point. I'm already excited thinking about booking it. I'm not going to book it in this show, don't worry about that. I'm not going to go mental, but long-term game I would, definitely. Average referee, Mark Knightley. Sean Galloway, as I said, the Firebrand, the man who created this and made it all possible. Like I said, he's just a grizzled guy who knows what he wants. Yeah, to be honest, he also does the role of road agent, so fortunately as me taking over ownership of the company for the purpose of this video, I didn't have to actually reassign him a position on the roster. Vanessa Rhodes, I'm looking at you. Is Vanessa Rhodes the first Big Ron Johnson replacement? Comments below. Yeah, no, I like Sean Galloway, I really do. And he gave us this company, so what's not to like about the guy? We're about to see a beard, is all I'll say for the next character. Boom. There you go, Travis Fry. Kind of looks a little bit like Eric Young, actually, from back in the day, but that's neither here nor there. He's a tag team worker. Alright, I think he's actually one of the better workers on the roster for his position of being a mid-carder. I like the SWC roster in general. It's quite quirky. You've got a lot of strange individuals, which I think is something that SWC would pride themselves on. Not that they wouldn't have the solid hands in the ring as well, if possible, if they would go to SWC. but there'll be some new talent that I'm sure would be willing to do that. But they have a fantastically diverse roster, I think is the only way to describe it. And finally, just Warren Gordy, who plays the colour commentator. And yeah, he was actually a former TV host, or he was a contestant on the Show Your Talent. He made it all the way to the final, so he's one of the more interesting colour commentators, and that landed him a job here afterwards. So fantastic. Basically, he was a wrestling fan who knew how to talk. He was noted, got a bit of fame from TV, and after that didn't work out for him, he thought, yeah, let's go to wrestling as everyone else seems to do. Literally everyone. Everyone who ever lived. Okay, so that's a quick overview of the roster, by far the shortest roster that I've had to go over so far in these videos, which is quite weird for me, I have to say. Didn't have to break this one up into 2 videos like I did the AWF. What we're going to have a look at, there are no starting storylines, so that's not what I was going to click on. We want to have a look at the titles. Again, these titles courtesy of Mr. MJ Stark, another shout out, fantastic work here. I wanted something that screamed Scotland. This title I think does that, because of the flags. SWC Scottish Champion, held by Asbo. As I said, the title reigns will be changed shortly. I think, in fact, Tiberius has actually worked on the SWC title lineage recently, so that should be ready to be put into the game fairly shortly. And the SWC Tag Team, which is vacant, which is news to me. I thought I put them as champions, or put a team as champions, but apparently not. I do actually really like this title belt as well. And we know what I'm going to do now for the show is I'm going to have a tag team title match, as I would anyway, because they don't have a weekly show, which is another first for this series. Usually I'm doing a weekly TV show, so now I'm just actually doing a once-in-a-month event. Soul Survivor in this case. So for the data, obviously after I've done this video and edited it, I will also make sure that I change the who are the starting tag team champions in this company. But oh well, I get to hold an open title match where no one has been decided as the champion at this point. Also, interesting side note, for Showtime, after I finished doing that video, I actually added some storylines as soon as I finished recording and uploaded that video, so they now have starting storylines. And which is a theme that I'll do as I go through the videos. So although SWC doesn't have starting storylines now, after I've done this video and edited it, I'll go in and put some starting storylines for them. So these videos are in essence helping me kind of think of storylines that I would actually put into the game, and the proof is in the pudding because I did that with Showtime. So don't need to waste too much more time looking at the titles, although they are fantastic. We will now move on to have a look at the tag teams. Yes please, thank you! Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, here we go. Emmett Ambrose and Travis Fry. I like the tag team. Second favourite tag team in the promotion behind the UK Riots. We have Drunken Disorderly, which is Killen Castellor and Kyle Hamill. Bit of tongue twister for you there. The UK Riots, as we saw earlier, Corbin Garner and Casey McColgan. And finally the Union Street Syndicate, comprising Ellis Stubbs and Jake Waller. I did have to say it again in the end, but I think I nailed it that time, so that's fine. So we've got some good teams indeed. Let me see what we will be doing now. First of all, creative meeting. Okay, franchise players. Now that's interesting. Asbo is 4th on that list, but he is the champion. I would entirely flip the order of that list, and I think that's fair enough. That's how small Scottish wrestling champions are. They don't even have 5 franchise players, they've just got 4 guys, but they are unquestionably the top 4 in the promotion. I think if you were going to put a 5th on there, it would have to be Christian Kimmock. That would be my suggestion. But anyway, so we will go and have a look at the next big things. No one? Great. This one's going to be great as well, this show, I can tell. Well, it's not going to be great because I haven't got any starting storylines, and that's dinged me in the other shows, but I'm enjoying it anyway. You get a sense of what the kind of promotion looks like as a whole in general, which is what these videos are for. Hot prospects. We've got Lance Shadow, Jake Waller, another time I've had to say his name, Corbin Garner and Lonnie Dope. Pretty happy with those on that list, to be fair. Yeah, no, I'd be happy with that. Talk the Talk, Peter Wallace, Big Daddy Buff, Christian Kimmock, Lance Shadow and Warren Gordy. Fantastic. Showstoppers, there'll probably be 1, if any. There's 4. Wonderful. Big Daddy Buff, Pierce Buxton. Oh, maybe he does serve a purpose on the roster. I knew I put him in here for some reason, and that was probably it. Ellis Stubbs and Asbo. Ring Generals. Pierce Buxton. Again, why I put them here. Ellis Stubbs and Big Daddy Buff. Who's hot? No one. No one's hot. Oh, this is Showtime all over again, isn't it? Who's not? Probably the champion. Everyone who wants to have a prominent position on this card. Who's not? No, okay, I'm alright with that. Lonnie Dope, Carl Hamill, Killen Castellor, Pierce Buxton, and Corbin Garner. Shame about Corbin Garner. The other ones we can build up. That's fine. Well, we can build up Corbin Garner as well if it's long term. Time Decline, Big Daddy Buff, Asbo. That's a shame. Big Daddy Buff certainly was going to be on there, and Ellis Stubbs as well. Asbo's a bit unfortunate. He is 38 though, so it shouldn't be too surprising, but sad times. And we'll just have a quick look at the hidden gems, even though there isn't much to talk about on the UK independent scene at the moment. We've got Thomas Mayfair, Magnus Martinson, Robbie Throbbenstuff. See what I did there? I didn't do that actually, someone created that. Reggie Lucas and Christian Nineveh. So yeah, we have those. I don't even think they're some of the best guys that are actually available free agent wise. There's certainly a tag team I'd want to pick up, but I'm not going to be covering free agents, so I'll leave that as a surprise when the date is released. Okay, so right now what we need to do is do it, and that is storylines. We need at least 2 storylines, again with a minimum of D-. I'm not worried about that, it's just this one show. So I'll add a quick storyline. I'll just do the 2 titles as I think about it. We'll have Asbo defend the title against... Who do we want him to go up against? Big Daddy Buff would make sense, biggest heel in the company. But that's what we're going to do. Fortunately, it's alphabetically fitting as well. So, Asbo versus Buff. Oh, not all capitals, that's a bit much. Okay, start storyline. And one more storyline is... I'll just put tag team. I know what I'm going to do. That's all we need. Tag team, we will have the UK Riots. So Corbin Garner and his partner Cason Colgan. And we're going to have them go up against... It needs to be a face team. So we'll go with Emmett Ambrose and Travis Fry. Why not? Yeah, there you go, 2 storylines. Again, it's going to get dinged because they've only just been set up now, but that's fine. Right, so now we will book the show. Polythene Pam, what a guy to appear as the transitional screen. Also English actually, he was a free agent on the UK scene. Lovely shade of rouge lipstick. Locker Room Incidents, hello, this is a first for the series. Thank you for playing. Let's have a look. Oh, good God, this could be horrible. The champion and the owner. Let's hope it's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. So the owner, who, well, is no longer the owner as I've taken over, is starting fights with the champion. Is this class as the London Effect? This might do. Don't know. I'll let you guys decide in the comments below. I'll go for last chance. He's probably just going to go, nah. I understand, I'll try and handle things better in the future. Okay, sweet. ScottBGaming saves the day. Backstage Racing 63, that is horse shit. Again, 2-hour show. I love the 2-hour shows, don't I? I don't even know if we have enough talent on the roster to go 2 hours, but we'll see. Sean Galloway, Asbo near fight. That was a plus by me fixing that. That is bizarre. Only in Scotland would a fight improve the rating. Yeah, I said it. I'll let it go for whatever venue it wants, that's fine. And we'll start putting some matches together. Some of the matches can actually go a fair amount of time. I think it's 20 minutes is expected for a main event. So we'll start off with Asbo and Buff and Stuff. Thank you, by the way, for the individuals that have commented telling me why I was such a moron filtering on this for the other videos, but I did pick it up in the end. So green means you can see it, red means you can't. I get that. I realised halfway through, as I said previously, but thank you for pointing it out. Okay, save. Yeah, we will have this go 20 Minutenhausen, which is going to be dire because Big Daddy buff stamina. I don't think we'll hold up to that at all. It'll be the SWC Scottish title on the line. I'll be relatively loose with what I want to see happen, so we'll have Asbo win, Big Daddy buff lose. Again, that's just a force of habit for me. We want it to be an open match, don't want a one-sided beatdown in the main event. Probably needs to be scripted, I think. And that's where we'll leave it, and we'll let the computer decide the rest. We will put the tag team titles on the line, as we have the UK Riots and it was the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I believe. It was. That's going to be an absolutely horrible tag team title match. In fact, most of the matches on this card will be terrible. But that's to be expected with the size of the promotion and the quality of people you have working for you. That will go... So we've got openers in the Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So 10 minutes might be a push, but we'll see what they can do. Victor, you've got to have the UK Riots win. Loser, whoever pops up first, Emma Ambrose. I probably would have gone for Travis Fry, to be honest, but that's okay, we'll go with that. We do want it to be an open match. Definitely scripted. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So brilliant, that's taken up 34 minutes. Wonderful. 90 left. Okay, so what else do we want to get on the card? I think these shows should probably be knocked down to an hour and a half, actually, in fairness, and I think I'll do that after this video, but as I've got it for 2 hours now, we'll sort that out. Exclude booked. That's a short list. Okay, we will have Kimmock, because I like him, against Highlander. Seems to make sense. And we'll have Christian... Holy crap, what was his momentum, sorry? E+. Shit. Okay. This one can go a bit longer. 14. We will have Kimmock win. Already highlighted, didn't need to do that. We will then have Highlander lose. When we click on the button, which we have, it will be open. Scripted, yes please. That'll do. Again, I'd probably throw a couple, well, at least a hardcore match on this show if I was doing it with a long-term vision in mind. I could still do it, to be fair, there's nothing stopping me. And I realise now that I didn't put the tag team titles on the line. Caught it. Okay, save. Right. What kind of hardcore match could we have? Well, a hardcore match, that'll do. Is it really not listed as just the hardcore? Oh yeah, it is, there it is. The writing was blocking my view. Right. What kind of garbage monkeys do we want in this one? Colin McKillivary, because he's a bit of a badass guy. And Peter Wallace? Yeah. Very nice, we'll have that, thank you. And we'll have that go 10 minutes of garbage. And this will be the one I'll let the computer decide. As I said in previous videos, there will be one match on every show that I book that I'll just let the computer decide. This will be that one. Although I'm pretty certain Peter Wallace is going to get the rub of the green there. Have that beginning of the show. Because the UK Rise Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I think, will tank. And I think the other two matches after that might lift it up a little bit. At least that's what I'm hoping on. So I need to book at least 28 more minutes. To be honest, I could leave the show 2 hours. I don't think 28 minutes is really unreasonable. I mean, you could put segments in there, like angles, and you still have a few members of the roster left, and obviously you could bring more in. So I might leave it at 2 hours. Again, any thoughts and feedback, put your comments below. I'll be sure to check them out and take it into consideration. Get one more match on there, I think. I'll have another tag team match. And it will be the two remaining tag teams of Drunken Disorderly. They would probably have been the better duo to go for the tag team titles, but I'll stick with my guns now that I've fired the bullets. So I've got a face winning the main event, probably a face winning there, 2 heel wins, so I'll let Drunken Disorderly take the win here. On the thought process, or the thought basis that the UK Riots are going to be the title holders, so go up against another face team, not another face team, going up against a face team would probably be better than going up against the Union Street Syndicate, although I don't think the face heel divide would matter too much in SWC. Just want to see a good fight. Sounded like I was going for a Scottish accent there, I wasn't. I was just exhaling and making a sound of distress by the sounds of things. Killen Castelor, yes. Loser Ellis Stubbs because he's old. Sound like Vince McMahon there. Old, therefore we must get him out of the company, a la Macho Man Randy Savage, although he didn't try and push him out of the company, but he didn't want him in the ring, that's for sure. Open match. Again, I won't specify a finish. Probably should have scripted it though, but there's the fun in that. Okay. So we have got 16 more minutes to proceed. Trying to think what kind of angles I want here. I might have a. Well, I seem to be doing a few pull-apart brawls with like Asbo. Well, with the other companies I've done, I could see certainly Asbo having a bit of a brawl with someone. I'll have him do a promo at the beginning of the show. I'll certainly have Kimmock do a promo. So talk. We will have a promo, and it will be a singles generic for Kimmock. So let's put him there. Let that go. 5 minutes. So move that back on it relatively just before Highlander will say so. Starts talking rubbish or smack talking, and Highlander comes out, hits him in the face with a haggis. I'm joking, of course, or am I? For their match, so that's fine. We'll put in an angle for Asbo. We do a pull apart brawl. Actually, we'll do a. What will we do? We will. Sexy dance singles, yes please. Obviously not. We will have singles catchphrase. Hello. Okay, no, we don't want that. We want. I'm just basically having a look through it actually. Pull apart brawl. That is what we want. So we'll have this between Asbo and Big Daddy Buff and stuff, and we'll have. Who do we want to pull them away? Probably uppercarders like Highlander, and we'll get a heel to pull them away as well. He's also high up. Maybe we will pick Colin McGillivray. This needs to go 5 minutes, so I'll say just 7, why not? Let's kill the show entirely. We'll have this quite early on in the show, have we set up the main event. So we will put another angle on. We'll have a tag team title celebration. Post-match celebration 2 versus 2. No. Celebration tag. There we go. Won't be popular with the crowd, but we're going to have Corbin Garner, and we're going to have Case and Colgan celebrate after they win. 4 minutes, that'll do. Probably wouldn't even be that long to be fair. We will move back this segmento to there, so otherwise it doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't. One more, there we go. How much have we booked? We booked 90 minutes exactly. Maybe I should knock it down to 90 minutes, but to be fair, that's acceptable in those limits. Might put on another match just to get a couple of the other guys on the card. Hopefully that doesn't mean I need to put on another angle, but we'll go for that. Obviously Prince Westminster. I can't believe I didn't nearly book him. And a face. Last Shadow would work. Lonnie Dope would work. We'll go with Last Shadow. And we will have this be very quick. 6 minutes. We will have Prince Westminster win, obviously. And the loser will actually be Last Shadow. And I'll let them... I'll script it. And I might even let them go all out. I think that would be terrible, but I want to see it now. And actually, no, we do want a sloppy finish. We want a tainted win. Cool. Save. Hey, that's alright, isn't it? 98 minutes. That'll be the opener. And I think we're happy, well I'm happy anyway, to go ahead with this card. I fully expect it to be really, really bad, but it's the nature of the beast when you're at this size for a promotion. And we'll go to Run Show. Right. In a match that had an average crowd reaction but featured terrible wrestling. Apparently that's the plus side. Average crowd reaction but terrible wrestling. Prince Westminster defeated Lance Shadow in 5 minutes 48 by pinfall by using underhanded tactics. Wonderful. Lance Shadow got a lot of static from a vocal crowd who clearly weren't impressed. Sweet. And yet they like Prince Westminster. At least they have taste. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this actually. Asbo and Big Daddy have a pull-apart brawl with Highlander and Colin McGillivray pulling them apart. That gets a D. That's probably the best rating we'll get on this show, to be quite honest, so I'm happy with that. Ooh, that actually did better than I thought. It's unfortunate that the next tag team match is going to be absolutely crap in comparison, or just in general, to be fair. In a match that had an average crowd reaction and some decent in-ring action, Drunk and Disorderly defeated Union Street Syndicate in 9 minutes 40 when Killen Castellor defeated Ellis Stubbs by pinfall with a Bloody Mary. Makes sense. Alcoholic drink. Very nice. Jake Waller got a lot of static from a vocal crowd who clearly weren't impressed. Fantastic. The SWC audience know what they like, that's for sure. And it wasn't this shit. In a bout that had a good crowd and some decent in-ring action, Peter Wallace defeated Colin McGillivray in 9 minutes 44 by pinfall with a Greetings from the Gallows. Okay, let's have a look at the... Peter Wallace got a lot of static from a vocal crowd who clearly weren't impressed. Let's have a look. There are no active road agent notes. Okay. Well, so they improved still at least. Anyway. I can perform better if you put me in matches that suit my skills. I was going to put a hardcore match on, I told you this. Apparently, backstage. Before I pocketed your pay secretly. That's better again than I thought. So, yeah, they really hate the tag team champions, so that's great. In a match that had an average crowd reaction but featured terrible wrestling, UK Riots defeated Dirty Roston Scoundrels in 10 minutes 27 when Corbin Garner defeated Emmett Ambrose by pinfall with a curfew causation. UK Riots win the SWC Tag Team titles. D-, still okay. Having just picked up the victory, UK Riots celebrate in the ring. E, yeah, what I expected. Christian Dimmock cuts a backstage promo, D+, very nice. Thank you, Christian, there's a reason why I liked him. In a bout that had a good crowd and some decent in-ring action, Christian Kimmick defeated Highlander in 30 minutes 38 by pinfall with a Hammer of the Gods. Yeah, again, this show would do better if it had the storyline starting right off the bat, which it will do for release. Oh, that's pretty good. In a bout that had a good crowd and some decent in-ring action, Asbo defeated Big Daddy Buff in 90 minutes 57 by pinfall with a Public Enemy. Asbo makes defence number 3 of his SWC Scottish title. Asbo was visibly tiring towards the end, Big Daddy Buff was visibly tiring towards the end. It's what I mentioned earlier. Kurt Berry and Warren Gordy have pretty good chemistry when calling matches together, which is nice. This match lifted the crowd. The Asbo vs Buff storyline has advanced with this segment. All in all, I'm pretty happy with that. Might even improve popularity, dare I say. Oh, it did! Wonderful! Really happy with that. The general feelings that SWC doesn't have enough interesting storylines going on, we covered this. The show increased our popularity in one region. That's the first time that's happened in the series, on the worst show. So SWC Sole Survivor 2015, all around a pretty decent effort by myself. Well done me. Thank you, me. That was surreal, that. I don't know what happened. Make speech. Let's make a speech. Workers to focus upon. Right, let's find him. Let's find him. Let's find him. Prince Westminster. Praise for a great... No, give and hug. Give and hug. Let's hug him. That's all we want. Make speech. Prince Westminster seemed pleased. You lovable scamp, you. Go on, get back in there and put your mascara on, you slag. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. And that is your first taste of the SWC. As far as the next promotion that I'll be covering, I haven't yet decided. As I said, after this video is wrapped up, I will be going in and adding the information to the storylines to get that started off, and we'll pick a starting tag team champions for the company. I will hopefully be filming in the next couple of days and have something up shortly thereafter. Thank you very much for watching this video with me. If you really liked it, if you could like it and subscribe, that would be fantastic, just down there. And thanks for stopping by.